So today's opening song is Spirit of Life, and it is played by Jennifer McMillan. Whether in person or online, we begin each Westwood service with an acknowledgement that the land where we gather has borne witness to thousands of years of Indigenous history, culture, and spirituality, and continues to do so today. The Westwood building rests in Amiskatchewan, which is the Cree name for Edmonton and translates to English as Beaver Hill House. I am joining you today from Shoe-Chotwe, which is the Dene-Shoshine word for Cold Lake. While much of Treaty 6 was historically inhabited by the Cree, Blackfoot, Métis, Saulteaux, and Nakota Sioux, the area I'm located in is the southern edge of the Dene-Shoshine Nation. While land acknowledgements have become a way to respectfully draw attention to the journey of reconciliation and decolonization, the embarkation point of that journey, as with most other reconciliation journeys, should be to educate ourselves on the journey of those who took care of this land before us. Part of my educational journey that I would like to share today comes from a fantastic art project called Coloring It Forward. This social enterprise works towards the purpose of advancing education on Indigenous issues, art, language, and culture through a grassroots approach. I received the gift of a coloring book from this organization, and this is the book. So this one focuses on the Blackfoot Nation, which includes the three Aboriginal nations of the Kainai, the Piikani, and the Siksika. They were traditionally a nomadic people and a warrior people, following and hunting herds of buffalo, which provided them with shelter, clothing, and food. To the Blackfoot people, the buffalo represents the qualities of perseverance. The buffalo faces the storms of life and walks into them. This coloring book has many pieces of wisdom shared by Blackfoot elder Camille Pablo Russell, known also as Shooting in the Air. I would like to share with you today two pieces of wisdom from this book. The first is titled People of the Plains. It reads, Plains people are buffalo hunters who live in teepees. Every day, we begin the day by giving thanks to the Creator, Apistotoke. Thanks for the good and the bad. Thanks for our five senses. And we ask for guidance, protection, and strength. The eagle, the bear, the wolf, and the buffalo are our guiding animal spirits. We move every 3 days so as not to damage the grass and our medicines, because it isn't our land, it's our children's land. The second piece of wisdom is entitled River Guide. Life is like a river, said grandfather to his grandson. I have crossed it. If you listen to me, I will tell you where it is shallow, and you will never struggle for air. If you don't take my advice, you will find the deep parts and struggle. If we listen and learn from our elders, we will struggle less in life. Welcome this morning to Westwood Unitarian's online Sunday service. Westwood is a compassionate community of free religious thought, free thinker friendly, and a welcoming congregation. Westwood is my first Unitarian congregation that I've been blessed to be a part of, and that is due in no small part to the kindness and welcoming nature of Ilara Stefaniuk-Gaudet, for whom we will be holding a gratitude ritual later in today's service. My name is Mady Webb, and I will be your service leader on this Sunday morning. Our speaker is Reverend Ann Barker, who will be joined by readers Heather MacLean-Smith and Lisa Stein, as well as board member Brenda Niska-Aro. Our musicians are Jennifer McMillan, Rebecca Patterson, and the Westwood Choir Harmonia. Our service texts are Ilara Stefaniuk-Gaudet and Bill Lee.
If you have a chalice or candle, it's time to bring it forward. This is one of our traditions while on Zoom that helps us do something in unison and feel more closely connected. Now, our chalice lighting words this morning come from the Reverend Ninan Soto in the book Spilling the Light. And it begins with a quote from Georgia O'Keeffe. We haven't found enough dreams. We haven't dreamed enough. And then Reverend Ninan's words. The world makes many demands on your time, your skin, your heart, until you are left grasping and wondering if you will ever do enough, have enough, be enough. Stop your counting, measuring, and checking. You are enough. So much more than enough, made from fragments of the galaxy. You do measure up. And to recover from the doubt pressed upon you, the antidote for doubt is dreaming. All the dreams that call to you, lime green and frosting pink dreams, the other soft and tender dreams that run blue to gray, sky indistinguishable from lulling sea. The dreams that seem impossible, listen, that's their nature. If they haven't already happened, then they would be realities, solid and smooth, like the round bone home of an unbroken egg. Be brave enough to name your dream, nurture it, and allow the rhythm of your breath to bring your dreams to life. Finding Our Dreams by the Reverend Ninan Soto. We light our chalice this morning in the spirit of courageous dreaming.
At this time in our service, we pause to reflect on our week. We recall the milestones, the joys, concerns, and sorrows, the changes in our lives, and those who need our healing thoughts. Community is deepened by sharing with each other what is in our hearts. The events of this week have admittedly rendered me speechless. In times like this, I tend to turn to music to attempt to express something, anything, in order to find and perhaps provide some comfort. From the Tony Award-winning musical Hamilton and the words of Lin-Manuel Miranda, I share the following lyrics from the song, It's Quiet Uptown. There are moments that the words don't reach. There's suffering too terrible to name. You hold your child as tight as you can and push away the unimaginable. There are moments that the words don't reach. There's a grace too powerful to name. We push away what we can never understand. We push away the unimaginable. I invite you now to share your joys and concerns in the chat or light your own candle in silence while we listen to Jennifer McMillan play Rise Up, O Flame.
Rise up, O flame, by thy light glowing, show to us beauty, vision, and joy. Rise up, O flame, by thy light glowing, by thy light glowing, vision and beauty, vision and flame, by thy light flame, by thy light beauty, vision and beauty, vision and flame, by thy light flame, by thy light beauty, vision and beauty, vision and joy. Rise up, O flame, by thy light glowing, show to us beauty, vision, and joy.
As today is the last service of May, I invite you to type into the chat the names of the folks who have celebrated their birth this month, while we join Rebecca in singing Happy Birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Westwoodians. Happy birthday to you and many more.
Before joining me in the affirmation you see posted on your screen, I'd like to return once more to the lyrics of It's Quiet Uptown to remind us all that no matter what we are facing, it is always better to share in our struggles, even if it's done in silence, than to go it alone. They are standing in the garden, Alexander by Eliza's side. She takes his hand. She says, "It's quiet uptown." Forgiveness. Can you imagine? Please join me now in the affirmation you see posted on the screen. May the light of these candles inspire us to use our power to heal and not to harm, to help and not to hinder, to serve the spirit of truth in loving affection and trusting hope. Westwood Unitarian is entirely self-governed and financially supported by the generosity of our members and friends and cats, apparently. Donations are accepted and appreciated at any time by following the instructions on the slide or on our webpage. In celebration of the programs, events, and activities that we support throughout the year, please join Rebecca in singing our offertory song while remaining on mute.
From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. From together I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this
They say a minister has one sermon that they preach 1,000 ways. This is mine. Whatever you believe is true. You will find evidence to match. So be careful what you believe. Focus on what you know to be good. Point yourself that way and reinforce the love that will also inspire others. Emerson's version goes like this. A person will worship something, have no doubt about that. We may think our tribute is paid in secret in the dark recesses of our hearts, but it will out. That which dominates our imaginations and our thoughts will determine our lives and character. Therefore, it behooves us to be careful what we worship, for what we are worshiping, we are becoming. When I first imagined this service a year ago, I was thinking about it being annual meeting Sunday. I imagined that this particular meeting might be difficult, anticipating financial challenges and philosophical differences. And so my question was, how do we go into this moment, this meeting, being our best selves? Circumstances have changed. A lot has changed. And the focus of our service this morning has shifted now to be a celebration for our beloved Director of Religious Education, who is also our Sunday tech lead and the creator of our social media presence and the puppets, Ilara Stefaniuk-Gaudet. And life is still life. This morning, you may find yourself in a spirit of deep grief over heartbreaking things taking place in the United States or Ukraine, or right here in Edmonton, or in your close circle. You may be filled with love for Ilara and are ready to celebrate, but you may also be disappointed, wondering how life could be the same after they move on. You may be delighting in the shifting season, enjoying the sunlight, the garden, the lake. And at the same time, you could be wondering, how could all this goodness exist while I struggle or suffer or experience this pain? We are bundles of complexity. We are many things at once. And the task of religious community is to help us sift through the many things and the many ways of being and understanding and transforming, and to help us choose or reinforce the path that serves us while also being a path that serves the world. There is evidence to support what you need. The sun always returns. There is also evidence to tear it down. You only need to turn on the news. In the middle, there is a path. In the middle, there is awareness of both and a space where we must choose. Which way will I lean? Which truth will I nurture? Which belief will I carry and nourish and promote? Lorian reminds us that Westwood is a place where we come to learn and practice how to be in the world, how to be good people in the world. I wholeheartedly agree. Westwood attracts bright, beautiful, loving beings. We will celebrate one this morning. But look around the checkerboard of faces in this Zoom room right now. Look and see who else carries a light that sparks your curiosity, or a practice that inspires your participation, a promise or belief that moves your heart and mind, or a way of moving through the world that encourages your growth. Ilara has been one of those people for so many of us. And this morning, I want to remind you that their gifts, the ways they have helped each of us grow, their courage to trust us with their vulnerability, their commitment to justice and to love. These gifts will never leave you. We make that mistake a lot. When we feel that we have lost people from our lives, we think they are gone, but they continue on impacting us for our entire lifetime in ways large and small and every shape and size, really. Trust the lessons. Trust the memories. Trust the goodwill and carry it boldly. Whatever you believe is true. You will find evidence to match. So be careful what you believe. Focus on what you know to be good. Point yourself that way and reinforce the love that will also inspire others, even as you need to be inspired yourself. Blessed be. All right, so now this is where your patience sets in, because now I am going to do the screen share because Ilara has been banished from this portion of the slide deck. Here we go. Just a moment. All right. Sometimes there are people who come into our lives and we are forever changed. Sometimes they show up out of the blue. We don't know where they come from or how they got here or how they got to be a part of our world. All we know is that we are the luckiest humans in the universe, because the gifts they bring into our world help to shape us and form us and make us better people. I didn't see them coming. They were a surprise to me. A delightful bundle of magic and mystery, curiosity and creativity, all of the characteristics I admire in life, and they have pushed me and stretched me and caused me to reimagine and rethink. They're one of the beautiful, brave humans in the world who is not afraid to tell me I have made a mistake. And I appreciate that more than you could ever possibly imagine. Now, I could talk for an hour and a half and not even begin to touch, oh good, you're crying already, not even begin to touch on the goodness and the magic that is Ilara Stefaniuk-Gaudet. But I thought maybe it would be better to show you instead. So I'm going to play the video, and please, you may want to have your tissues ready. This is the gratitude portion of the service. I'm going to take down the screen share so we can see everybody's faces. This is your opportunity. Isn't it fun when we get to celebrate people when they're still alive? This is your opportunity to express your gratitude or to share a little story or a memory or a wish or a prayer that you have for Ilara. So we have some helpers in this portion of the service. I will call on you. You can either raise your Zoom hand, which will cue you up in the order that my computer notices you, or you can raise a paw in your window, or you can type your messages into the chat. If you have emailed a message, and I only received one, so if you didn't get confirmation that I received your message, you may need to type it in the chat. Heather will read the message we received by email. Lisa will read the messages that are in the chat. So I'll hear the people's and the cats, and Lisa will do our reading out loud for us. But you also have the option to speak aloud. So hands up means you would like to speak aloud, and we would love to hear from you. And we'll hear from a couple, and then Lisa can read things that appear in the chat. So let's start with Heather. Heather is going to read a message that was emailed in. And then Heather, if you'd like to share your gratitude too, we're welcome for that, or you can save it for later.
I'll share my gratitude now because I was not forwarded on the email that was sent to you, Anne. So you can go and forward that to me.
It's in the email I sent you yesterday.
Okay, I'll say my piece first. Okay, so I think I'm going to give a little oral history here. So once upon a time when I was 12 and I went to Westwood, I later that week went to high school, and I went to Victoria Composite High School. And although Ilara and I are close enough set in age, Ilara is a couple years younger than me, and they were in junior high school and I was in high school. And Vic High School is a huge high school. There's 1,200 people. And you would think that you wouldn't notice people in a high school with 1,200 people. But I noticed Ilara, even though Ilara was in grade 9 and I was in grade 10, and they were in junior high school and I was in senior high school. And I always noticed them, and I noticed them because they were in a wheelchair, and they were friends with another friend of mine that I knew from youth group, and this person would drive Ilara's wheelchair, and Ilara would call it a people plow, which is really what you needed in Vic, because the school was really not set up for accessibility in mind at all. I really hope that they've changed their ways now, but Ilara would like be a people plow, and I like to walk behind Ilara because they like forged the way, which I think is kind of a curious metaphor for what I'm feeling. I didn't write anything. This is all just spoken from my heart. Okay, so that was high school, and I was like, gosh, this person looks really cool. I wonder how I can get to know them. And I don't remember the exact moment that I actually met you, Ilara. I feel like I've always known you. And when I think of my fellow Westwood church nerd, it's your face that comes to mind. So now I'm at Westwood Youth Group, and Westwood has always had a small youth group. So it was just me and whatever friends I could drag to Friday night youth group. And Ilara was one of those people that I dragged to Friday night youth group. And they attended a birthday party for our dear friend Jamie, who passed away, that I mention every now and again. And you signed a big card that I still have from Jamie. And then I moved away. I moved to BC. And I looped my life back to Westwood. And I think your life got looped back to Westwood at roughly the same time, which is probably why I've always felt kind of tied to you. And we've worked in the children's program together. We've done stuff in the Pride Parade together. And you are my ride or die church nerd. And I love you and I will miss you. But wherever I go, you go. And I am never without you. and you live in my heart forever, Ilara. And because you are a church nerd and I'm a church nerd, our church nerdiness will meet up at another space and time. And I'm so excited for you to be going off to school, and I wish you deep rest, and I wish you deep thought and deep writing and deep creativity. And now I will stop crying and read the email that Anne sent.
And you're right, Heather, that I
good.
didn't include it. So it should be at the top of your emails right now.
Like, oh, I might have looked really late at night.
So while Heather is looking, Lisa, do you want to read the things in the chat that we have so far?
Yes. This one's from Linda Axley. Ilara, your leaving Westwood won't leave a dent. It will leave a huge crater. Best wishes to you always. And from Lori, community builder extraordinaire. Thank you for putting your whole beautiful self into everything that you do. I love you. From Avery, I don't have the words to describe the impact that Ilara has had on me. We've been a slow burn of a friendship, and it's just beginning. I'm so proud of them for taking this big, scary step in service to their future. I can't wait to see what they create next. Church nerds forever.
Okay, I found the email. I'm glad I didn't make an oopsie last night. It's from Pamela and Richard. Ilara. You have contributed so much to our church with unwavering enthusiasm and dedication. It's been a pleasure to see you develop the children's corner and all the puppet characters too. You have been fantastic with all the wonderful tech support for our Zoom meetings for church. And we both wish you well on your next chapter, in your next adventure. I'm sure you will excel in all that you do at school. In appreciation and gratitude, Pamela and Richard.
Thank you. Is there anybody who'd like to speak aloud? Lorian's got a hand up.
That slideshow was wonderful because it reminded me of so many things that I'm overwhelmed by all this creative things you've done, Ilara. That's been enormous. I'm just trying to imagine what the university community is going to find when you get to them. Things will expand. So we're going to really, really miss you. But I'm also so excited for you moving into this next chapter. This is so exciting and such a positive thing for everybody, for the world. So I wish you all the best. And I look forward to finding out a couple of years from now, just how things are going and what new exciting things are going on. All the best to you. And thanks.
Thank you, Lorian. We're going to go over to the Westwood building peeps. I'm pretty sure those are Judy's bangs I see. There we go.
Hello. Oh my gosh. Okay, so now I'm going to cry.
Judy, get as close to the computer as you can.
Taking over the program. The children's program, but oh, sorry, can you hear me now? I just gonna say you took over the children's program not long after we came, and although Gabrielle was really still a bit, I think, shy for moving from Calgary to here, you just welcomed her with open arms. And I know she's not here now, but we were able to participate in solstices, and she was at City Hall, and she was here with Halloween. I can't believe it's been so long since we've been all in person for those things, but I'm so excited for you. I'm clapping because I'm excited for your adventures, and I'm going to miss you so much.
Thank you so much, Judy. I think it's hard to hear. We've got a little breakup coming from the Westwood message, but I think the heart of your message came through. Thank you. Lisa, do you want to read some of the chat for us?
Yeah, I'm going to read the message from me because I had to write it down because I don't do well speaking if I'm crying at the same time. Ilara, I am forever grateful to have you in my life. Thank you for sharing your light with me and my kiddos. I love you beyond words, and I'm looking forward to many, many more years of sharing the journey with you. From Brenda, so many creative ideas, so many children's and youth activities. Love everything you do. You are such an amazing person and great friend. From Gail, Ilara, you are a major hook for me to join Westwood. Oh, from a Saskatoon gal who has recently moved, you were the person who gave the message for that service. I was impressed with the planning and precision of your message. You know your truth, and I am blessed to have met you, Gail Stevens. From Cassie, and I can relate, thank you so much for sharing your energy, enthusiasm, and gifts with us. If I speak aloud, I will probably cry. From Robin, I learned even more about you, Ilara, after seeing the movie than I knew before. You are amazing. All the best in your next chapters. Hugs and love, Robin. And Cassie, all the best for your future endeavors.
There are a million other pieces of art and adventures and activities that could be fit into the film. We would have been here all day if I tried to make them all work. So I tried to lift up all the things that Ilara was celebrating in their annual meeting report. I really hope y'all read it. You have time between now and the annual meeting to read the report. It's a really beautiful remembrance of their time here at Westwood. Heather, I saw waving. Did you want to speak? Okay.
Ilara, I've been racking my brain all morning because I didn't write anything down. What was our joined costume for the Monster Mass birthday party for Anne? What was it? It was joined? It was a train? Was it a train? Was it does anybody here remember?
Was
Okay,
it
Ilara.
Lego pieces?
That's it.
Of course it was.
Is there a picture of that somewhere?
No, just a picture in my head. That's all. Okay, thank you for
yeah, you're
thank
welcome.
you for scratching that niggle. I couldn't remember. That was
Thanks,
all.
Heather. Laura Beard has a hand up.
Thank you. Well, I want to say how much I've enjoyed all of my time and conversations with you, Ilara. But also mostly I want to thank you for all of the work you've done with the children and youth programming, and on behalf of the youth who may not be here today or may not be out of bed today at this hour, because you know it's late for some of us, but early for others. You've just been amazing to keep the group together. I know it's a small group, but keeping that group together has been so important, and especially during the pandemic, to have that group as a space and a community, and all of the creative and wonderful things that you've brought and created space for has been so very important. And so that means a lot to me. Thanks.
Thank you, Laura. Heather B has a hand up.
All right. Is that me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, I've never met Ilara in person on here, and I've been on texting and stuff. But I'm just really grateful that she helped me connect with my inner child more. Just with all her puppets and her stories and stuff. Just the creativity.
Thank you, Heather. I think that's a gift that many of us have received from spending time with or near Ilara, that unquenchable creative spirit. All right, Lisa, back to you.
All right, so from Lee, wow, Ilara, I first met you at youth group. Sheila and I led that group. You have evolved and used your creativity throughout Westwood. Thanks so much. And from Jacqueline, oh, Ilara, I wish you all the best as you journey on through your life. Your contributions to Westwood won't ever be forgotten. Our friendship is a gift to me. And from Rebecca, you are full of gifts shared generously. I have learned so much from you about so many things. I will look forward to being able to reconnect in a couple of years and see where you've been and where you're going.
Thank you. Is there someone else who'd like to speak aloud? Oh, Heather's hand is up there again.
I just have a point of clarification.
Sure.
And that is, and please, and correct me if I'm wrong, that Ilara is not bound to the rule of going 2 years with no contact with Westwood, but Reverend Ann Barker is. Am I correct in that?
So it's a recommendation, not a rule. And the DREs also follow this practice. Many of them, Ilara is choosing to follow that practice because what happens is somebody who has been a major leader in a congregation, if they stay, it's hard not to continue to shape the future. And when Ilara is resigning their post of authority, it's hard to have them in the room and for them not to put their sticky little fingers in things, just like not to try to get them to do the things. So Ilara will be moving over to UCE because they value religious community, and we've cheekily made a rule there with the minister that Ilara is not allowed to have any jobs for a year, so that they have a chance to settle in and be a congregant and study and go to school. So I know many of our Westwood folks have a foot in both congregations, which is lovely. You know, some of you sing in the choir, some of you go for various activities or events. And so when you see Ilara there, you can still certainly interact, of course. It's just that it's their responsibility to not be talking about Westwood, because they are freeing Westwood to create its own unique being, whatever that looks like, with an Ilara shaped hole in it.
I really like Ilara's hairstyle this morning. It's really creative.
If we had known ahead of time that that's what Ilara's hair was going to do, I think we would have encouraged everybody to do the faux hawk this morning, but it came with too short a notice for us.
Cat.
Lindsay has a hand up, and Carl, and then Carl.
I'm almost in tears here, but I'm going to control myself. Ilara, when I first met you and I was giving you rides to places, I was quite intimidated by you. I've never met anybody so young, so energetic, so incredibly creative and generous with your creativity. I still have the earrings you made me. And at the same time, having an old soul, I guess I would say. You impart knowledge that at my 72 years, I hadn't gotten until I met you. And I'm so grateful and really gonna miss you. I know I haven't been to the church for quite a while, but my memories are vivid, you being there all the time. It's like you always were there. You're always gonna be with us in our memories and our hearts. Thank you.
Thank you, Lindsay. We've got Carl and then Bedrika and Steve's window.
Laura, I would just like to say that in not only all of your things that you've done and all of your creativity, that you are really such an inspiration to all of us in terms of the challenges that you've overcome. It's a very, very, very meaningful to me in terms of when I look at problems and situations that I have where I think I really have things difficult, and yet you just flourish and just an amazing, amazing person. So it's such a pleasure to have known you. Such an inspiration.
Thank you, Carl. Bedrika and Steve's window.
So I'm very much a latecomer to having any contact with Ilara. But it feels, knowing them is a lot like walking late into a concert and hearing the beautiful last phrase of the first song and knowing you're not going to get to hear the rest of that song played live, but knowing that the rest of the concert is going to have been influenced by that and be like that, and have been changed by that, and looking forward to hearing that. And so even just sort of this very scant contact is just precious. And so I'm grateful for that.
What he said.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, Lisa, back to you.
From Bill, I'm very grateful for the lessons and non-binary pronouns I've received from Ilara and others at Westwood. From Alfred, when I first met Ilara, seemed so long ago, I was both impressed and charmed. We'll miss them. And from Lynn, every day that I get to be in your shadow is a day I get to step into the warmth of the sun without realizing that I was cold until you let the light shine on me. Thank you for being you. And from Mady, oh God, it's hard not to start crying. From Mady, Ilara's welcoming nature and people collecting ability brought me into the Westwood fold, and I am grateful for having met you. I'm excited to see what your future holds and looking forward to more times at hobby stores. From Jacqueline, such a vivid image of Ilara's impact on us. Thank you, Steve.
You've heard reference to Ilara's people gathering. That's one of the fun things we like to tease Ilara about, that while they love to go for coffee or lunch or to a park or on an adventure, you never have them to yourself, because there are always people everywhere who come by to say hello. And I think we've all experienced that reflected in Westwood. Avery typed, they know everyone. And Ilara has brought many of the everyones into our Westwood community, to our services, to our activities, to our opportunities, to Solstice, to participate in things. And that has been a real treasure for all of us, and a real example of how to stretch and expand religious community, how to take off the roof and down the walls and open the doors and really open things up. Is there anybody else who would like to speak aloud? I am not seeing any hands. There's one more story I want to tell that's a little bit tender, but I want to share a story about how I have stretched and grown in Ilara's presence. So they took on they, them pronouns in the time that they've been at Westwood. And that was an opportunity for all of us to learn, along with their courageous spirit, trusting us with that shift. But the biggest thing Ilara trusted us with, and it's no secret that they are on the kidney transplant list and do home dialysis, and I never imagined, I mean, we know that the lovely thing about a congregation that's different, like say from a library lecture, is that it's birth to death and maybe beyond, if that's what we don't know the answer to, but we'll leave it as a mystery. And everything in between, that all of ourselves belong here, all of our parts belong here. But I never imagined I would sit and have conversations with our director of religious education about, well, let's talk about what will we tell the children if something goes wrong? Because Ilara, in their time here, has had some times of being very ill. What will we tell the children? What will we tell the adults? But what will we tell the children if you were to die? How will we manage, you know, in that time when you couldn't get down the stairs? And this congregation came through and made the main floor accessible. How will we understand life if something so beautiful feels like it could break? And so all of our children have grown up in Ilara's time here knowing that life is fragile and precious, and at the same time, how to be curious and creative, and how not to be afraid to have complicated conversations. And that is a gift you can't arrange. Lisa, I think there's something more in the chat.
Laura said, and Alara's ability to find commonalities and make new friends with people they have just met is incredible.
That is an inspiration to us all. Now, I am going to screen share again in just a second. I want you to know that all of our music today was chosen by Ilara. We had plans for the service, but when we decided this was gratitude ritual today, we scrapped the plans and said, you pick, Ilara. And even Jennifer, our musician, reached out to Ilara and said, well, I normally get to pick the candle music, but what do you want? And that's where that beautiful recording came from that just lit up all of our hearts, I think. So beautiful. So we have a centering song coming next, and then Ilara will speak, and we have a little surprise, which will be followed by the formal board gratitude, a Harmonia tribute, and a blessing and prayer for the future, just so you know what's coming. So we're running a little long today, but I think all of us know that it's totally worth it. Okay, muting myself.
Building bridges between our divisions, I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions, friends, we could make such sweet harmony. Building bridges between our divisions, I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and reach out our visions, with all of our voices and reach out our visions, with all of our voices and reach out our visions, with all of our voices and reach out our visions, with all of our voices and reach out our visions, with all of our voices and reach out our visions, with all of our voices and reach out our visions, with all of our voices and all of our visions, friends, we could make such sweet harmony.
Now, I just wanted you to have one more opportunity to see some of the magnificent Ilara art and that big smile, but I'm going to take the screen down because there's an even bigger smile. So over to you, Ilara.
I think Heather actually did a lot of the work on that scooter, just saying. Thank you all so much for your gratitude. I think I want to lift up the song that I chose that Jennifer just played, because I think that's a lot of, it's a big message in that song, and I think it really encompasses my ministry in this life and where I draw energy from, and that is truly and deeply from reaching out and building bridges with other people and other organizations and circles and interlocking all of the circles and being aware of where those circles play with each other. I think that's like really and truly a lot of where I get my inspiration is from some of those children's songs that we use to sing the kids down. I think that I love Heather B, wherever you may be. I love that recognition of me helping you connect with your inner child, because I feel like that's been really a lifetime of the work that I've done with myself, is connecting with my inner child and working really, really hard not to silence that inner child, because I think in our society, in our colonial society, it's easy not to listen to that inner child voice. We have these ideas about what it means to be a good, responsible adult, and we let those ideas take over parts of our heart that we squish away. And I've worked really hard not to squish those parts away. So I think that that's a really important piece of the path ahead, and especially going into university, I already kind of feel myself in moments squishing and being irritated and angry at how stupid the system is, and I haven't even started classes yet. So I am going to have to be very intentional about making sure that inner child still gets a voice in this ridiculous colonial education system. And I'm sure some of you that are in the room will keep me accountable to that. And I just want to thank you. I want to thank you because this path ahead is a path, hopefully, it's always a hopefully, but it's a path ahead towards a ministry that could go anywhere in the world. Who knows? Who knows? The ministry is a mystery. Just like so many other things. So thank you all very, very much. Anne, back to you. Oh yeah. Ilara! What's up, Spruce? I need to say goodbye to everybody. I feel like last week was really fun and I got to meet practice and get everybody's wisdom, but I really want to say goodbye. That's fair. Why don't you say goodbye now? Okay. Bye, everybody. I'll miss you. Thank you for all of the adventures and for helping me to be the best squirrel I know how to be. I hope that we can adventure again together someday. That was really lovely, Spruce. Thank you for that. Ilara, what's up? I think everybody else would like to say goodbye too. That's a good plan. Where is everybody? Oh, bless my whiskers, here I am. I just want to say goodbye to everybody and say that you're all welcome into my rabbit hole if you come that way. That's lovely of you to say, Mr. Rabbit. Thank you for the invitation. I'm sure folks will take you up on that sometimes. Oh, why, yes, it's been simply lovely getting to know all of you. Ilara, what's up, Spruce? I'm gonna go now so that other friends can come and say goodbye too. That's very kind of you. We'll see you soon, okay, Spruce? Bye, everybody. I love you. Oh, goodness. It's been such an adventure. Hello, friends, and goodbye. I wanted to come and say goodbye in person too, and say how much I love all of you and will be thinking of you as I sit and sun myself. Thank you so much for that, Goldie. It's been so lovely getting to know you. It has been. There are other friends coming too. We all want to say goodbye. Hey, Sunshine, that was a lovely goodbye. Thank you for that. There's a few more puppet friends here. We've got our new friends and our old. Everybody wants to say farewell. Yes, I'll be around. Thanks for getting to know me, Westwood. I'll catch you along the journey. Thanks, practice. It's been so lovely getting to know you these last few weeks. Yes, I'll be here, always practicing. I wonder where our friend Elm went. I know she wants to say goodbye. She might even be wandering back to fairyland. No, I'm here, Ilara. I'm just feeling sad because I was just starting to make friends and now it's time to go. That's fair. Do you have a song for us? Yeah. I'm gonna sing everybody a goodbye and then we're gonna fly away for a while. You go right ahead, Elm. May your minds be open to new learning. May your lips bring truth into the world. May your hearts know love and your hands do the work of justice as you go your way in peace. As you go your way in peace.
Okay, the song got me. That's for sure. So now representing our Westwood board is Brenda Niska-Aro, who may be the Westwood secretary at this moment in time, but has been a part of the religious education team for so many years and worked very closely with Ilara. So I invite Brenda forward to unmute yourself and express the board gratitude.
Well, hi, Ilara. It's been a long time. I'm so very pleased. I'm representing the board and to speak to our gratitude and appreciation for everything you have done for us, which you've obviously seen in the last minute. Ilara arrived around 10 years ago and was such a welcome addition to Westwood with all their creativity, enthusiasm. And then when we were looking for a new director of children's education, we were at first concerned that maybe Ilara would be missing out on the adult community upstairs, but they quickly jumped into their role as becoming the director for the children's education, and so many things that we note for her: the story of all ages, milestones, stimulating activities, all for the children. And you created your own curriculum right from the beginning. Ilara had so many creative ideas. Together, Ilara and Heather painted the thoughtful place in the tree, reality tree, as well in the nursery, the leaves with the handprints of the children and all the other members. Ilara also put together the all ages services at least a couple times a year. One of the favorites is the Rainbow Relay in June with 7 stations to include all the activities for every color. Those were some that I enjoyed the most. Of course, then Ilara has now prepared an 8th principle poster and puppet for the last all ages services that they've done. Ilara, well, we already mentioned that, is a published author. So I do have their book, if it comes into, yeah, I guess it doesn't work that well. But The Secret Wish of Dragon H is a wonderful story about how Dragon H started with real sadness and through the book gains their courage and becomes the true self that she is. the winter solstice events. Ilara was always a big part of that. And now this new winter solstice 2021. I can't wait to see the screening at Edmonton's Next Fest 2022. I don't know if there's a date there yet, but sometime in early June. So that's amazing to be recognized in that way. The pandemic came, I guess, and that gave us all adjustments with technology, and Ilara fit in really well, learning Zoom, becoming one of the main media people for Westwood services, and quickly just transitioned into that role. Of course, all the Ilara's cosmic connections, the puppets, everything changed from in-person services, but it all was pretty seamless. The youth gatherings too, and with Ilara did a lot of work with the youth and projects and activities that they did together. And it was so nice that they did our video for stewardship this year. We really did appreciate that. There are just so many events that you've been together and that you've set up for much of it. And we're just so happy for all the times that we've shared with you, and you've made us feel so good. Ilara, we, the board, we're just so very thankful for all the time that you put in at Westwood, for sharing yourself and all the amazing hard work, creative ideas, your compassion, guidance, adventurous nature, and your love. The board will remember the wonderful times that we've had with you, and you will leave a legacy at Westwood that can't be forgotten, because it's from you, but much of it is the creative elements that you've left with us. We will miss you greatly. We do look forward to seeing you again, and all the best to you and your future path. I know you'll do so well, and we're just all thinking about you. Thank you.
All right, we're going to close this segment with a blessing and a prayer. So I'm going to take the screen share down if I can get this thing out of the way, so I can see the humans. So let's spotlight Ilara so you can all look at their beautiful face. Wait, which puppet am I talking like now? All right, I would like to ask you to help me, because we know in a Unitarian Universalist community that a blessing comes from within. So if you are comfortable, if you are willing, would you hold your hands up and face them towards the screen and towards Ilara? So we are sending love to Ilara in this moment. So I invite you to join me in the spirit of meditation or prayer. Ilara, we hold you in our hearts for all time because you have changed our hearts. None of us are the same after knowing you. So we send this blessing from all of us to all of you, to celebrate your curiosity and your creativity, your courage, your bravery, your willingness to be vulnerable, your gentleness with us when we make mistakes. All the ways you have cracked us open like seeds ready to sprout. We hold you in the eternal love of this community as you go forth in your next adventure. And we know that it's hard and sad to release someone and let them go. But we also have the great gift of knowing that we are launching you on your path to ministry. So take all these hands and all these hearts as the jet fuel to keep you going on the days when the systems annoy you and the people are silly and the homework is long and the days are too short. Allow us to hold you and love you even if we're not in the same room, because you have been our miracle. Not so ordinary, and in all the ordinary ways. Spirit of life and love and truth, hold our beloved and carry them forward in strength and wisdom and tenderness and grace. Amen. Let's take that spotlight off, set you free. So we can all see one another again. It's time for our chalice extinguishing. Be Ours a Religion by the Reverend Theodore Parker. Be ours a religion which, like sunshine, goes everywhere. Its temple, all space. Its shrine, the good heart. Its creed, all truth. Its ritual, works of love. Its profession of faith, divine living. The words of Reverend Theodore Parker. And so I ask of you all to love one another. It is the greatest power we all possess. So may we all go forth today in peace and love, being our best selves. Blessed be, and amen.
And now any moment when the slides are shared again, it will be time for our closing song, Watch Me Delay, the Westwood song played by Rebecca Patterson.
When you're alone and life is making you lonely, you can always go westward. When you've got worries, all the songs and the laughter seem to help, I know. Westward, just listen to the music of the traffic in the city. Linger on the sidewalk where the library's so pretty. How can you lose? The lights are much brighter there. You can forget all your troubles, forget all your cares. So go to Westwood. Things will be great when you're at Westwood. No finer place for sure. Westwood, everything's waiting for you. Westwood, ooh, Westwood. Don't hang around and let your problems surround you. There are folks you know at Westwood. Maybe you know some small committees to join where the fun never ends. Westwood, just listen to the rhythm of a gentle choir anthem. You'll be humming with them too before the night is over. Happy again. The talks are much brighter there. You can forget all your troubles, forget all your cares. So go Westwood, where all the folks shine bright. Westwood, waiting for you tonight. Westwood, you're gonna be all right now. Westwood, ooh, Westwood. Westwood. Westwood, and you may find somebody kind to help and understand you, or someone who is just like you and needs a gentle hand to help them along. So maybe I'll see you there. We can believe what we want and show compassionate care. So go Westwood, things will be great when you're at Westwood. Don't wait a minute more. Westwood, everything's waiting for you. Westwood, Westwood. Come on, come on. Westwood, Westwood.
I'd like to thank you all for joining us this morning. I'm not sure if we're going to be doing breakout rooms, but maybe we will. We'll see. Please join us next week for our Pride service delivered by Lynn Markham, and we will see you all later. Thank you.